Project Eden's Garden is an all-new Danganronpa fan game that has finally released its prologue. And honestly, it feels kind of wrong to even call it a Danganronpa fan game because even though the actual gameplay is, well, identical, it's clear that the team behind this project is very eager to break the tried-and-true formula. If you haven't played the prologue of Eden's Garden yet, do it! It is completely free to download, you'll get about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay out of it, and it is well worth your time to at least check it out. Also, I am going to be talking about some spoilers for the prologue here, so there's your warning. This was originally going to be a gameplay video showing my reactions to the game, but about 90% through the prologue, my recording crashed and I lost everything. But honestly, that's okay, because now that's less video for me to edit. And also, I was kinda stupid during the trial, so now you can't see me being an idiot. So instead, I thought I'd just give my overall first impressions of the game in one shorter little video. First of all, the presentation is perfect. Seriously, this feels like an official Danganronpa game. From what I can tell, everything in the UI is made and animated completely from scratch, and you can tell they studied what made the best aspects of Danganronpa's UI so clean and effective. And my god, the artwork in this game is just gorgeous. The sprites, the CGs, the closing argument, and this is just the prologue stuff, like what? And the music, man, the music! I really like how they sort of went for their own style of soundtrack for the game, instead of trying to mimic whatever the hell this is.
Remains of a once powerful note.
Okay, let's get into the story and gameplay now. The first half of the prologue is just meeting the characters, which, you know, good, that's kind of the point of the prologue. But I'll talk about the characters more later, so for now I'll talk about these little wristwatch thingies we have, or trinkets as they're officially called. They zap you if you try to remove them or disobey any rules, and also appear to have a screen on them. I'm a bit curious to see if this will also double as the e-handbook for the game, because if so, that is a really cool idea. Also, I just want to say that it is really nice to actually explore the locations in a fan game. This may seem like an odd thing to compliment, but since I'm so used to making and experiencing Danganronpas that you can only read, it's nice to finally be able to appreciate and learn about all the little details in the background. I fucking love clicking on things that don't matter! Anywho, after meeting everyone and exploring for a bit, we finally hear the voice of who appears to be the host of this killing game, and what the fuck is that, a corpse? Okay, nope, it's actually just a dummy, but yeah. We actually have an investigation and a trial in this prologue. Given that it was said to be 4 hours long, I kind of saw something like this coming, but I was still definitely surprised to see that body discovery. That's a really good body discovery animation, by the way, I could never. Both the investigation and trial are relatively short, which is good given that this isn't a real murder case. Although, apparently, this is actually based on a real in-universe murder that happened previously. Good to know, sure that won't be relevant later. Either way, for now this is just a tutorial case to give us an idea of what trials will be like. They function largely the same as what we're used to, but we only really get to see non-stop debates and a closing argument. I'm sure there will be more games added later, like Rebuttal Showdown and Scrum debates, but even if it's kept simple with mainly just non-stop debates, I'm honestly fine with that. This is the first playable fangan I've actually experienced, so just interacting with the trial at all was exciting to me. Still, there's definitely an attempt here to spice up the typical non-stop debates, thanks to the new pathos mechanic. Absorbing statements and firing them as evidence is nothing new, but using it purely for the emotional side of things rather than logic is an interesting idea, and I'm curious to see how it's used further. Also, I learned after writing this script that apparently there's a logic route and you can still solve this debate with logic, and maybe it's just the Undertale fan in me, but I am very curious to see if there is going to be any consequences to that. The closing argument is a bit different too, as now the entire cast will go over the case instead of just the protag. I love this change. It makes the trials feel more like a group effort rather than just one dude figuring out everything. By the way, I think one of the best parts of having a practice trial in the prologue is that we get to see every character participate in a trial. So even though there will inevitably be a first victim, at least they'll have one trial under their belt. Another thing that intrigues me about the prologue trial isn't really its effect on Eden's Garden, but rather the potential effect it may have on the fangan community. I think having a tutorial case in the prologue is a really good idea, and I'm curious to see if any other up-and-coming fangans will put a different spin on it. For what it's worth, Eden's Garden handled the concept of a practice case really well, but I think it could also become something oversaturated and make a prologue more boring if it's implemented without a real purpose. Still, definitely an interesting idea, and I'd love to see more of it from other projects in the future. Anyway, back to the story, we don't actually figure out who the murderer was. Again, good to know, sure that won't be relevant later, but after we determine how the crime went down, we meet Tozu, our host of the game this time around. He didn't have much time to fully leave a lasting impression for me, but he's definitely not as silly as Monokuma or other characters that take his role. It'll take some getting used to, but for now, the only thing I found funny about him was the best character beating the shit out of him, which quickly became not very funny after she almost got shot by Mara, the enforcer of the killing game's rules, because she has a gun. And man, I am much more intrigued by her than Tozu. My brain is already turning thinking about cool things a character like this could do throughout the story. But after that, they give their whole killing game spiel, and everyone's optimism is crushed. The end. Overall, I think the game's biggest strength is its presentation. It's hard to judge the story with what little we have right now, so for the time being, all my brain can think about is just, this game's really pretty. My only problem with the game itself is more of a technical limitation, but I experienced quite a few crashes during the end of the trial. Not a huge deal because it's a free game made by a small team, and my laptop isn't the best, but it was still kind of annoying. Didn't bring down my experience too much though, because, well, as I'm sure you can tell, I really enjoyed my time with it. But let's be honest, no one cares about a game review. What you really want to see is a tier list of my opinions on all the characters. Let's go! Okay, Damon, I gotta say, he's definitely like the most unlikable character here, probably. Definitely like the most unlikable protag I've ever seen, like right off the bat. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? He's definitely gonna change and have some sort of character growth, and I'm very interested to see where his character goes. But for the time being, with what little we saw of him, he's kind of a dick, and I don't really like him that much compared to everyone else. Everyone else is just a lot more fun compared to him. Eva is definitely A tier. She, I don't want to compare to Canon Danganronpa too much, but she's definitely got some Kyoko vibes, which I love because Kyoko is one of my favorite characters. But I think she's definitely going to be a lot different to Kyoko, especially with her talent being Ultimate Liar. I think she's just a really interesting character to have around. She has like sort of these sassy remarks, like these sort of sarcastic remarks every now and then that I really enjoyed. So I don't know, I'm excited to see where she goes. Grace Madison, my beloved, my S tier, the best character here. Look, I love characters that just flat out insult people all the time. I love characters that just swear, and I love characters with cute designs. And she's got this cute little bunny hat visor thing on. She's perfect. She's a golfer. I think that's really cool. She reminds me of Kahili from Pokemon Sun and Moon, the golfer Elite Four member. I don't know. I just think she's cool, and I am gonna be rooting for her the whole time. She has already scared me so much throughout the prologue. I thought she was gonna die like 3 different times throughout that. So like, I really need her to stop playing with fire so much, because man, she's really asking for some death flags right now. Grace, please do not die. Wolfgang, that's another, I'd say easy A tier. I mean, he's one of the characters, like, these 3 here kind of, and Damon, I guess, but like these 3, non-protag characters, these 3 definitely got like the most screen time in the prologue, so they're kind of the characters that you would like the most. I definitely liked Wolfgang being a lawyer, kind of, Ace Attorney vibes a little bit. I think he's going to be really fun to have in trials. He was definitely fun to have in a trial, in the first prologue trial. So I'm curious to see. I'm going to say this a lot. It's hard to judge these characters, when we've only seen them in the prologue and we really don't know that much about them. But I am just curious to see how they will all grow and develop, and I am definitely curious about Wolfgang. Toshiko is okay, I guess. I don't really have any particular strong feelings about her. I'm still confused about her being like an actual child. Like, everyone's just like, yeah, you're a child. That, like, it's not like, Hiyoko or something where she just looks short. Like, they said, like, she's an actual child, and that's like, huh.
That's a child!
Okay, But I don't know. I mean, I like her. She just didn't really stick out to me that much. She's okay, though. Eloise. Eloise, I think that's how you say her name. A tier. I love her. We didn't get to see her too much. From what we saw, she's kind of just, you know, a shy girl. But I really love her design. Fencing is such a cool talent to have. I just like her white suit. It's very cute on her. Desmond is also pretty cool. We didn't get to see too much of him, but from the screen time he had, I thought he was a pretty cool character. He's definitely would be a cool character to hang out with. I'm sure, I don't know, if they have free time events, he'd probably be a fun character to hang out with. So, I like him for now. Jean de la Mer. I hope that's how, I forget how to say his name. It's been like a week since I've actually played the game. But I like him a lot. He's a ship captain, not a pirate. So hopefully he won't suffer the pirate's curse. But just a really funny guy. I am excited to see more of him. Ingrid, also really good. She's just a buff lady, and that's just a good character trait. I love how she's like southern and she's calling everyone like darling and sweetie. It's really cute. And she's just a good character. Winona, I really just like her name, Winona. I like how she doesn't have a last name listed. She's just Winona. Also, the name Winona, I think of two things whenever I hear that name. That's obviously the gym leader from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and also Winona from Rubbadubbers. So every time I see her name in the game, I just think of... She's okay. I mean, she's a billionaire, so... but her design is so pretty, so... good. Cassidy Amber. You know what? No. There's gonna be two S tiers here. Cassidy... she's just so funny, man. This girl is literally Mr. Beast. I really appreciated her stepladder joke. As soon as I saw the stepladder, I was like, they're gonna make the joke, aren't they? And they did make the joke, and it made me very happy. Jet Dawson. That's another A tier. He's so cool, man. I don't know if we'll ever see him. I mean, we've got to see him like without the helmet on at some point, right? I don't even know. I haven't looked at many like design or concept arts for this game, so I don't even know if if his face is publicly available right now. But like, I don't even care if we don't see his face. Honestly, I think the helmet's just cute. The little ears, I love it. Oh, it's Mark Bursky. C tier. I'm sorry. He's okay. He just didn't get as much screen time. I feel like he probably got like the least amount of screen time in the prologue, but I'm sure he'll get more later. He just didn't do much, so I don't have much of an opinion on him. I like his little beanie hat. I think that's cool, and I like to say his name. I don't know why, but Mark Bursky is just fun to say. Diana? Or is it just Diane? I think it's Diana. I'm pretty sure it's Diana. Diana is cool and pretty, and I like her. She didn't do a whole lot in the prologue, but she's cool for now. I think she's cool. Kai is a YouTuber, but not as good as Cassidy. I don't know, man. Like, it felt like they were trying to parody a very specific YouTuber who I don't even want to mention his name, but he's a funny character. Like, he definitely made me laugh a few times, but for now, I'm just kind of not super into him, but he's alright. I've seen this man on my Twitter timeline, like, so much, because, like, I follow Project Eden's Garden on Twitter, and, they retweet a bunch of fan art and stuff, and I've seen so many people, like, baby girl this man. I don't know why. And then Ulysses, I didn't really leave much of a lasting impression. B tier is kind of empty. I'm gonna move Mark Bursky up there, just because I like his hat and I like to say Mark Bursky. You can be in B tier. But Ulysses, yeah, definitely C tier. He didn't, I don't know. Again, like, just didn't have too much time to shine, and just is not the most exciting of the bunch from what we've seen, compared to everyone else, in my opinion. But I'm sure, like all the characters, I'm sure my opinions will change over time, and I am excited to see them change, and I'm excited to see how these characters all grow and change and die. But yeah, that's it for my first impressions video of Project Eden's Garden. It's really good. I enjoyed it. I am looking forward to more, and I wish the team good luck, because I know making this shit is fucking hard, and I can't even imagine how much more work it is to actually make a playable game. So, best of luck. You guys are doing a great job, and if you haven't downloaded and played Eden's Garden yet, do it. You should. It's fun and good, and it's well worth your time. I already said that at the beginning, and if you've watched this late into the video, you've already seen spoilers for the prologue, so that might not matter to you anymore. But whatever, download it, play it. Anyway, goodbye!